It's been a while, and we are back with the Monaco Grand Prix. But it's a little different this time, guys. It's a little different, a little emotional. It's a little all of the above because the Monegasque driver has finally done the inevitable. Yes, we're talking about Charles Leclerc wins the Monaco Grand Prix. He has done it. He has done it, and he has done it. What a moment! The moment he crosses the line without Max Verstappen on the back, without any danger, and he's like, I'm just gonna bring it home. It was like madness. The Monaco Grand Prix 2024 race reaction here with Sports with Monga. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button to be able for more videos. And I hope you will join me on the journey. Thanks for all the support that's been coming in. Done a really nice Premier League wrap up. That's kind of pending. Mostly going to do it midweek next week, midweek, sometime around that. And then we have we've wrapped up a couple of things. I'm still kind of going over the video content that still is to be for you to kind of consume. But live reaction is the Monaco Grand Prix, which is coming out. So if you want to subscribe to the channel because you want to still know what happened in the Bundesliga double that's coming through for Bayer Leverkusen, what happened with PSG in the Liga, and of course the French Cup as well. Like they made a double, and then the biggest thing that's talking point of the manager madness. So if you want to be all part of all the drama that's still kind of coming up for us in the summer and also post summer as well, because of the Euros, we have the Cricket World Cup, we have the Canada Grand Prix on 5th of June to 7th of June. That's the weekend it's happening. You want to stay tuned here and hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get on it. Charles Leclerc has finally won, taken victory in the Monaco Grand Prix. He has done it. Third time lucky, guys. 3 times. Third time lucky. He has had the worst in 2019 and 2020, and now he was in pole. 2019 he was in pole, messed it up. 2020 he was in pole, messed it up. 2021 he was in pole. Yeah, messed it up on the last little lunge on the qualifying, and then couldn't even start. Didn't even that was kind of the worst one. And then finally he got his win. 4th and 6th in the previous 2 years. Ferraris were struggling, but Ferrari had the car today, and then he was a driver. Qualifying P1, finished P1. Yes, it's the most serene drive in P1 in front of his home crowd fans, despite early drama playing out at the start. Yes, there's a lot of things to get into. If you're a Charles Leclerc fan, hit the subscribe button, guys. Enjoy this content and hit the comment section. But let me know where you were watching this from. I was watching it from home, not overlooking the Principality, though I would have loved to do that, but maybe somebody can sponsor me for the next year. But none of that is happening this year, but it was really lovely to watch the race. Lovely from a perspective of Charles Leclerc, not a lovely from the point of perspective of racing on track, because there was literally no overtakes. I think I just saw Logan Sargent overtake. I think Logan Sargent did overtake somebody. I'm forgetting who, Lance Stroll, or was it Zhou Guanyu? Logan Sargent overtaking Zhou Guanyu. Yeah, but because he was letting the race leaders pass through, and yeah, Logan just kind of pipped himself as there. But then, yes, it's a lot to go through, guys. Charles Leclerc's win. Charles Leclerc win the Monaco Grand Prix. It was so, I can't just stop talking about it. The 6th win for him. He's done it again. He's shown, like, the pressure on him has been maximum because it's his home. This is where he went to school. This is where he went to play, like, as a kid. This is where he was born. And what a moment for him. Of course, the Prince of Monaco as well, the Princess, everybody on the podium. They were like, it was almost like a family. It almost felt to me like looking at that podium was Oscar Piastri in P2 and Carlos Sainz on P3 were basically the friends of the groom, and the groom knew everybody else. But then the friends of the groom were like, where are we? Why are these people? Who are these people? Why are these people hugging you so much? Why is that person throwing champagne on you and not on us? Why? What party are you getting invited to? What's happening? So it was kind of that, but then you can't take away anything from Oscar Piastri and the McLarens and Carlos Sainz, who basically was struggling through the whole weekend, but he got his act together and got what he wanted. The red flags, yes, let's get into that, guys. The red flags were thrown before the first lap of the iconic event. It was even completed after a huge collision between Sergio Perez, the Red Bull driver, and the two Haas cars of Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg, putting all three out of the run-in. Leclerc led away cleanly when proceedings were restarted, minus Esteban Ocon, who was forced to retire following heavy contact with Alpine teammate Pierre Gasly on lap 1, as a race strategy played out with all eyes on whether the leading cars would pit or make it to the end of the event. But throughout it all, Ferrari driver kept it cool and remained ahead of his rivals to take his first win of the streets of Monte Carlo, beating his previous best result of P4. Leclerc crossed the line 7 seconds ahead of Oscar Piastri, who put in the assured drive in the McLaren and held off a late challenge from Carlos Sainz Jr., with the Spaniard making it a double Ferrari podium in the third. In third, Sainz likewise was being chased down by Lando Norris. Yes, that's an important point. It was a Ferrari, so it was like Leclerc, McLaren, Ferrari, McLaren, and that's the sandwich. And this is what we've been talking about. What happens when Max Verstappen or Red Bull have like a shit race? This is what we get. But the race was not great, but we get a different podium, we get a different winner, we get some different drama happening. George Russell running an upgraded front wing in the weekend was the lead Mercedes in 5th. My prediction was, and if I go back to my prediction was we could possibly have Mercedes on the podium. They were really looking strong. That did not happen, but my prediction of the podium was right. I had podium predictions for Charles Leclerc, to win, for Mr. Oscar. I said Lando Norris. Did I say Lando Norris or did I say Oscar Piastri? Let me have a quick look what I had thought of. I think I went for, this is a biggest flop. Max struggles. Max didn't struggle, so I got that one wrong. Biggest surprise, Mercedes podium. They were P5, the best of the rest from the top. Podium, Lewis podium, that didn't happen. Russell was top, so I won't even give myself half a point. There's a 0 points there. Crazy prediction was Oscar Piastri wins. Well, he didn't win, but he came to P2. But that was on my prediction, so 0 points there. But I was right on the podium prediction. At least on the P1, it was Leclerc. Sainz didn't finish P2. It was Oscar Piastri, and then Sainz was P3. But my prediction was P1 Leclerc, P2 Sainz, and P3 Lando Norris. Lando Norris finished P4, so I was just off by 1, guys. So yeah, no points for me. But if you want to just have fun, that's what I do sometimes. Like start of the race, start of the Grand Prix, just make a crazy prediction, see what's happening. It was so funny. The last in the Imola Grand Prix, I said Piastri will score points. He had a fucking terrible race, but then he scored points. But anyway, so if you want to just enjoy some, have some fun with me, look at the video, the predictions video. We do that before every Grand Prix, so that you can have some fun. So you can give me your predictions already for Canada in the comment section below, and we can see, and I can take possibly your predictions. So if you want to get into that, that'll be lovely. And that'll be nice to kind of include as well. Give me your crazy prediction, your podium predictions, your biggest flop, and the biggest surprise. That's how I will want to go. But then, yes, coming back to the George Russell running an upgraded front wing was the lead Mercedes in 5th, having held off a charging Max Verstappen in what has been a challenging few days for Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton followed in 7th to add the Silver Arrows points tally. Yuki Tsunoda was another solid day for finishing 8th in the RB, while Alex Albon and Pierre Gasly both scored their first points of the year for Alpine and Williams. What a race, guys. What a race for them. Both scored the first points for Williams and Alpine in 9th and 10th, respectively. Fernando Alonso recovered somewhat following a difficult day on Saturday, but just missed out on points for having finished P11 for Aston Martin. Ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, P12 of RB, and Valtteri Bottas of the lead 6. Kick Sauber of P13. There was disappointment for Lance Stroll, who ended the event in P14 for Aston Martin after suffering a puncture following a pit stop in the second half of the race, while Williams' Logan Sargent followed in 15. Jogan, you become the last classified driver in the 16th position of Kick Sauber, with 4 cars not making it before the first lap. The aforementioned Ocon retired following the collision and has also earned him a 5-place grid penalty for the next race in Canada. Perez, Magnussen, and Hulkenberg joined him as the other retirees following a dramatic crash on the opening lap. A lot to unpack. Let's start from the bottom, I would say. Kevin Magnussen, Nico Hulkenberg, and Sergio Perez. Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg were starting from the pit lane. Perez gets off the line, but gets caught up. Doesn't want to kind of tangle, but then can't save himself because he gets tapped by Hulkenberg on the right. There's no space. There's no space for 2 cars. How are you going to make 3 cars move from there? That's just impossible. He gets shunted, like literally Hulkenberg is carrying Perez. This is how he's carrying him. And by that, he's already kind of touched Magnussen as well. So race over for there. It was like a carnage. There was nothing left on Red Bull's car. If you see the car, there was like only the Monaco was there. The rest, the wings, the suspension, everything is gone. He just had the Monaco on the weather seat and the fuel tank and everything. So what? But then this gives me just a moment to kind of appreciate the work that has been done in the safety department for Formula One. It's just top notch, right, guys? Top notch. Esteban Ocon. What can I say about him? What can I say about him? Esteban Ocon. Come on. Like get it out. Like I'm like, why? Why do you have to do what you have to do? Why you have to do what you have to do? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like Esteban Ocon has put up the on the principality coming from like just before the tunnel. Just before the tunnel, there is no space. Gasly's already been pipped for a position, and you're going for the same corner, and you. Doesn't make sense. Hits like in the Alpine drivers, just they always do it. Again, it's just like they just don't want to give anybody space. And it's interesting that it seems to me, Charles, it is kind of said right now that Bruno Famin had some strong words for Esteban Ocon after the incident with Pierre Gasly, and he has been like he sent some really hard words to him. And why not? Like you talk about all of this. You talk about how you want to race against each other. And you know, if you don't follow the rules, Bruno Famin will have to kind of pull up. Like I think he might just get a reprimand. He might just kind of put him on the bench, put up Jack Doohan, just to kind of hurt his ego and tell him that he's not fucking running the team. It's Bruno Famin, and you know these crashes and they cost a lot of money. Esteban Ocon has put on Twitter has said, "Today's incident was my fault. The gap was too small in the end, and I apologize to the team on this one. Hoping for a deserved point finish for the team today." He didn't even wait for the race to get over before he wrote that, so he knew for a fact that he was in fucking trouble. Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly go really back. They're gonna fuck up each other's races for quite a while. Best in my mind is Australia last year. Like they had like the best point, or like 2 years back, they had the best point finish that could have done, and they fucking went into each other like in the restart. Like, oh my god, grow up, boys, grow up. Anyway, yeah, that's Alpine. That's Esteban Ocon. Jogon Yu, yeah, Kick Sauber were like nowhere there. Valtteri Bottas 13, Jogon Yu 16. I think it's just a bad car right now, which they can kind of trust. Monaco is like a low speed corner, so they didn't even, and that's why they get bunched up. But then they're just bunched up because it's a very slow moving track. You don't see the difference basically between cars and stuff and so on a lot. Logan Sargent sandwiched between them. Yeah, it's a race. I think he's just been told don't crash the car anymore. We don't want you to fucking crash the car. He even touched the wall a couple of times, but that didn't break any suspensions. So that's a good thing for him. But I think he's just been told not to fucking crash the car. He's going to be out in my mind. But they don't know who they're going to put in the car. That's the thing. And we've spoken about it, like Williams. Who do they even get? Daniel Ricciardo, I think forgetful, like for him, like just behind Fernando Alonso. No overtakes, no chances of overtakes. Fernando Alonso drove the season like the best. He did the Magnussen to kind of hold off everybody behind to get Lance Stroll into a pit window. But what did Lance Stroll do? Got into pits, but then punctured his tire, and then gave the last point to Pierre Gasly, who got the final point. Pierre Gasly, nothing great. Like, he has been a good driver. He's done a great job with Alpha Tauri in his previous stints in Monaco, but then this was just forgettable again, in my opinion. And then we had Alexander Albon. He finished in points, scoring 2 points for the Williams car. The first points for both Williams and for Alpine scored by Pierre Gasly. At least Pierre Gasly's first points. Alpine had scored points by Ocon in the previous race. Lewis Hamilton 7th. Mercedes almost felt like they had nothing left, and they it felt like there was a chance that Max Verstappen pitted for the tires and for a second stop, but then just pipped Lewis Hamilton before, and Hamilton came on the radio like, "Why didn't you tell me to push? There was a critical lap. Why didn't you tell me to do an out lap? Come on, like, you're supposed to push on an out like every time. Like, you know that he's just come in, so it's like kind of a weird thing." Max Verstappen, number 1 in 6th position, feels a little weird, but then, you know, these are one of the races where you kind of realize what happens when Red Bull is not having a good day. Not a good qualifying. The car kind of felt edgy. Cracks appearing. Adrian Newey no longer at the helm. No, people are not able to kind of but it's these are all speculation, guys. We just need to know how well they do. Like, is this just like a one-off thing, or is it just happening more and more often, and we're just kind of speculating too much into it? And that's what I feel is like, that's the question that in my mind that I kind of keep thinking, like, where are we kind of with this, where we are with Max Verstappen, Lando Norris. I think McLaren are the team like to beat right now. I think even in Canada, it could be that Red Bull come back like rising through, like Sergio Perez. Yeah, he's just like, this is like the worst thing could have happened to him after the Imola Grand Prix. But then he can't do anything there. Like, it's not his fault, but this is how bad luck. And Formula One never sleeps. People might be looking for his drive, for his car, like whatever can happen, can happen. But I think Canada, and they just need to kind of put the pedal to the metal and just kind of show everybody where they are, how dominant they are, and that's good enough in my mind. So for Red Bull, but then it's interesting that what I'm trying to get at is even if Red Bull struggle, it's between Ferrari and McLaren. There is no kind of clear favorite at all moments. Like, who is better? Is it McLaren? Is it Ferrari? But that's interesting to know. It's the three-way battle from now. At least it's Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren. And if Red Bull kind of have a little bad weekend, you could see Ferrari and McLaren kind of pushing. There is no Mercedes, there is no Aston Martin, which is interesting that they got upgrades to the car, but they didn't even work. So it's interesting for them to kind of bring upgrades to the correlation between what's on track and to the simulators and the development that they're doing in the car. I don't think it's still matching to what extent they would feel, but it's very interesting to see that Ferrari are kind of stepping up. The man behind all of this is Fred Vasseur, getting Lewis Hamilton next year. Maybe he's getting Adrian Newey as well. But then the tactician, the master play, he's kind of allowing the team to build slowly, to get momentum, to show everybody where they are, to kind of have the confidence for the future. Charles Leclerc today has proven that he can win a race. Of course, Sainz is the one leaving. He's won a race. He's been podiums more the times than Leclerc. But then that's the thing. Like, you have to think of the future, and Sainz will have a great future as well. But then Leclerc winning in home Grand Prix in Monaco, that's one of the classiest moments as well. A lot of talking points. Alpine crash. The first lap shenanigans between Checo Perez. When is bad luck fucking end? It's just going to be crazy. McLaren rising, Ferrari on the rise, Red Bull. What will happen in Canada would be just amazing to see. A lot of storylines. Will be interesting to see what happens in Alpine. What does Bruno Fairman do actually on Checo, on Ocon? What reprimand does he get? What happens with the Williams as well? More upgrades possibly, and Mercedes, Aston Martin's home race, Lance Stroll's home race as well. So there's a lot of talking points. Get on the comment section below, guys. Let me know what do you think about all of these. And hope you will like the video. Hope you subscribe, and catch you in the next one. Peace.